Hello, my fellow healers. My name is Adina, and I'm that healing girl. And in this pick a card reading, we're going to be talking about the energies of Leo season 2025 that's happening between July 22nd and August 22nd. So, exactly about a month of these energies of Leo. And Leo is all about our status. It is ruled by the sun. It is shining a spotlight on us as individuals, who we are, what we stand for, how we show up in the world, how we express ourselves in the world, and how the world sees us. And I really feel like that energy is being put, is having a spotlight put on that. The fact that Mercury retrograde is happening right now while we are entering Leo season, I think that's allowing us to be thoughtful about how we show up in the world and about how people perceive us, how we want to be perceived by other people, for that matter. And so I think that a lot of us are going to take a magnifying glass at our flaws, and that might be uncomfortable for many of us. But Leo season with Mercury retrograde energy is going to favor this for review, and for us to really examine ourselves and find out what do we need to change about ourselves. And this is not from like a downing perspective, like we're not trying to change ourselves to fit in with other people. We are trying to find out how can we refine and perfect ourselves to become better people, genuinely better people, not people what is perceived as being better, as what society perceives as being better, but really what makes us more loving, what makes us more compassionate, what makes us kinder people, what makes us more genuine people and authentic people. And that is not something that you're going to find in like an Instagram like or feed necessarily, unless you are presenting yourself with utmost authenticity. So it's not this fake social media gloss. It is, how does the real you come across, and how does that hold up to not only public scrutiny but your own personal scrutiny? Are you living in line with your values? Are you living a life that you would be proud of? Things like that are going to come up for a review in Leo season. Also, because it is in Leo season, a few people might find their reputations take a little bit of a beating because of Mercury in retrograde. So if anything that you've done is kind of not above board, it might come to light during this time. If it reflects, especially if it reflects to something that could affect your status. We might see this in public figures as well, where more secrets or scandals or things like that come out that would affect their public standing. So with that being said, this is pile number 1, 2, and 3. 1 has the lovely citrine. 2 has the heat-treated citrine, and 3, has the honey lepidolite, or golden lepidolite. There we go. Oh my God, I spoke wrong. Mercury retro is in effect, so I apologize if I might have spoken wrong, and I also apologize for any technical difficulties that might happen during the filming of this. Without further ado, let's get into it. And as always, take what resonates with you, leaving the rest behind, knowing, trusting that you are exactly where you need to be right now in this moment. See you in the reading. Okay, pile number 1 with this lovely citrine. And this is a natural citrine, so it's kind of yellow, but it has like a brownish, like honey brown, rusty tint to it. And citrine is amazing for healing the solar plexus, healing the 3rd chakra. Some of you might be in this pile. I just got a channel message that some of you might be having stomach issues or digestive issues, and you might need to use citrine for that. I was also really drawn to use this lemon pattern with this bright yellow. To me, it's like a fruit that exudes solar energy, and Leo is ruled by the sun. So we're going to be using this for both the Leo season and for the next reading that's upcoming, which is going to be the new moon in Leo. Wonderful bright burst. I'm getting a wonderful bright burst of energy whenever I think about new moon in Leo. But as always, coming back to the Leo season reading, as always, we are going to start with our tarot cards first. Some of you might want to check out the new moon in Leo, and it might reference to some of you in pile number 1, because I'm getting a strong hit from that. The Hangman. That does not surprise me. We are in Mercury retrograde right now. The Hangman is all about this sort of patient, calm energy. You're just, with the Hangman, you might, for some of you, might feel frustrated by this energy, but with Mercury in retro, it's telling you just chill out, take your time, don't rush, do the things some of you need to do. With this King of Cups in reverse, you might need to do some emotional housekeeping. By that I mean maybe there's some people that you might have hurt or wronged in the past, or maybe they've wronged you. And with this King of Cups, is somebody that has a lot of control over your heart chakra, somebody that's very important to you. Maybe you've either fell out with them or you've spoken words out of turn, and now it's time to do some forgiving and have a conversation. But with Mercury in retrograde and with this Hangman energy, it's saying to hold back for a minute. Don't, you really want to, you want to be like, I'm so sorry and I know I was wrong. And it's telling you to take a beat and not to do it until Mercury retrograde is over. And if you can at all stand to wait, or I should say not stand to wait, if it is not urgent that you talk about something right now. There we go. Otherwise, hold it close to your vest and see how things play out a little bit further. Also, review your motives for wanting to make amends with this person. Is it just because you know, want to, how do I put this? Is it just because it makes you feel better? Or is it because you want to genuinely repair this relationship? Make sure ego doesn't come into it. All right, make sure you're not just mad because you got called out and not really sorry for what you did. That's it. That's what I was trying to get to. Yeah, 3 of Discs. For some of you, I'm getting a vibe, for some of you, this might be like either a secular group of friends or a school, like either work or college. Work, college, or high school vibes. Yeah. I don't know why. So the vibe I'm getting is some of you have watched Ginny and Georgia. There's something that happens, without giving too many spoilers away, that causes a falling out within the friends group, and it kind of splits the friends group down the middle, where some people are favoring or taking sides with the person that admittedly was in the wrong, but the other person was also somewhat in the wrong, and so it kind of split up the friends group. That's a vibe I'm getting for some of you. Like there's dissent within a group of friends, and somebody feels wronged, and there's a tendency, like within the show, the wrong party might like sort of take a beat and take some time to themselves, and then the other party that is wronged might also need to find a place of forgiveness within their heart. So there's like a lot of conflicting and complicated emotions that is going to take a heartfelt like discussion to get through. And with the confusing vibes that I feel from Mercury in retrograde right now, this is not the energy for that conversation. This is the energy to reflect on what you did, maybe take notes on it, maybe, you know, listen to some music and sit there, or sit in meditation and think about, okay, what is it that really hurt me, or how did I really hurt them? If you're the one that feels like you've wronged somebody, what can I do to sort of have this restorative justice vibe about it? Like, what can I do to heal the situation, or what can I do to heal myself in this situation if you were the wronged party? And how can I find a spirit of forgiveness within me if you are the wronged party? Or how can I, if you are the party that did the wrong, how can I approach the situation with humility and forgiveness? The Lovers, yeah. For some of you, this is definitely also a romantic relationship. But I think for a lot of you, this is a group of friends. And with the lovers, it implies a choice. Some of you are choosing to side with one side of the friends group over the other. And it's cost you a lot of heartache and tension. And the thing is, once you pull away the emotion from this, you have to ask yourself, all sides of this situation have to ask themselves, what were they really gaining or losing by being in this relationship? Ask yourself, do you want to continue this or not? Yeah. And that might be a lot. I'm getting the vibe that it's going to be sort of a painful, soul-searching situation. Yeah, I'm getting close friends. Some of you are lovers. Or if you're lovers, you're like lovers and friends. I'm getting the Minnie Riperton song, Lover and Friend. And you, in the end, we are lovers and friends. Very classic song. Beautiful song. Open-mindedness. There is more than one way of looking at things. You must be ready to accept alternative viewpoints and new ideas. You must open your eyes to new ideas, new ways of resolving problems. Yes, some of you are being a bit stubborn, closed-minded, and you don't want to forgive. Some of you don't want to forgive. Interesting. And that might be the best thing for you. Some of you are holding on to the fact that you were hurt, but you don't want to heal it. You want to hang on to the sort of wound energy. And that might be what you need to heal in the moment. But consider that in order for you to heal, you're going to have to sort of reopen the wound a little bit to talk about some things that might be uncomfortable. Sort of, it's like excising the pus or not without getting too gross, letting the detritus in the wound run free, cleaning out the wound before you can bandage it back up again because it might be infected at the moment. Relaxation. Yeah, I think that with relaxation, it is channeling more of the hangman energy again. The universe is saying, read a book, chill out, listen to a playlist, paint a picture. And with this full moon, I feel like you'll find out more about this you'll have more information during this upcoming full moon, which I think will still be in Mercury retrograde, but you'll get more information. So if you can, just breathe through whatever you're feeling right now, maybe journal it out, write it down, express yourself. Again, I'm a huge fan of talking to a therapist if you need to. But I see a meeting of friends, but I don't think it's advisable to do it until after Mercury retrograde. And after the information that you get on this upcoming full moon. I don't know what sign it is, but I'm sure I will be doing a tarot reading with that full moon. So maybe this is a sign for you to, and also look at the new moon tarot that's upcoming in the next 2 days, but also that's new moon in Leo. That'll give you some insights. But the full moon in Leo, I think, is when ideas about how to resolve this issue and whether to keep this friends group together or move away is going to come into play. Yeah. In the meantime, try and hang out. Try and relax. Maybe explore some new friends groups, meetups and things like that in the meantime, in between time, or call up friends you haven't talked to in a while that this really close-knit friends group or relationship might have sort of pulled you away from. Not that you went away maliciously or anything like that, but that you just kind of fell out because you were spending so much time with this particular group which you were very close to. That's what I'm getting. Harvest moon. Oh yeah, harvest moon. Yeah. So maybe August, September full moon, you'll get more. After Mercury retro, you'll get more insight. On warm, peaceful autumn night, a gentle haze softens the light of the full moon. The songs of night birds softly emerge through the dark against the backdrops of against the backdrop of sonorous outpouring of the frogs that line the lake's shore. The stillness allows your senses to expand. You inhale the earthy dampness in the air, hear the nuances of the night sounds, look at muted reflections of the moon and the lake, and sense the deep quietude of the night. A full moon occurring close to the autumn equinox is called a harvest moon. The harvest moon symbolizes all that you've worked on is coming to fruition. In other words, you can put up your feet, relax, and let go. The sacred landscape wants you to know when you see this card, relax, all is well. No need to strive or push to get ahead. Beneath the surface of life, everything's gently propelling you in the right direction. You can lay your burdens down and simply unwind. Slow down and allow calmness to fill you. When you relax and relinquish control, your intuition expands and you create the space for your spirit guardians to help you. Additionally, it's vastly easier to heal and have positive outcomes in your life when you're rested and not filled with worry and a need to control outcomes. Lie back, stretch out, and watch the magic unfold in your life. Yes. Ask your guides for guidance. Don't be too stressed about this as well, because in the end, you want to move in the flow of the universe. And right now, that flow of the universe is Mercury retrograde is in effect. And it is telling you to not act and to stop and review, to sit in meditation and also take your mind off of this problem for a while. Maybe you're kind of obsessed with it, so think about that as well. If you can't take your mind off for 2 seconds and think about the rest of life, it's probably becoming a little obsessive at this point. So part of this might also be a little bit of distance that you need from a super close-knit group that is healing and reinforcing your sense of individuality and anonymity too. So yeah, just try your best to go with the flow and look at this as life moving in cycles and currents. That's the vibe I'm getting from this. And I'm getting a strong sense that you're going to have more answers either on this full moon that's upcoming or the next one. So, which is going to be, I believe the harvest moon is going to be either in September, I think August or September. But at any rate, that is all that I have for you, pile number 1. What an insightful reading. I wish you all the best. If this reading resonated with you, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below. Comment with a yellow heart emoji or a sun emoji. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, pile number 2. Let's see what we have in store for you today. I noticed that these cards have a little lion on them. I didn't even think about that when I first picked them out. I just pick the cards by intuition, to be honest. I don't put a lot of huge, like, oh, I'm going to take this particular tarot deck because it has this significance. I literally just go with what I feel. All right, let's see. Ace of Cups in reverse. In reverse, there's going to be a lot of reverse. I'm getting, the vibe is they want to plant almost that you have a strong, heartfelt desire to build community and legacy, and it's kind of almost like a traditional life with the white picket fence, and that's very important to you. You might be a traditional sort, like a Taurus or a Capricorn. Yeah, 7 of Discs. You're putting a lot of effort into building this particular life with this 10 of Discs. And community and appearance. That's what I'm getting. And things are not necessarily working out the way that you wanted them to. You put a lot of energy into this. Yeah. With the Queen of Cups in reverse, it is... I'm getting a vibe of like... It might be more of a keeping up with the Joneses, or this feeling that life has to fit into this shape or look this way or be a certain way. Yeah. That life has to revolve around a certain set of outcomes. You know, you go to college and you get the job and you start the family and you have the kids and you get the house, and you're very frustrated that these outcomes are not working out the way you said they were going to be, that people said they were going to be. So, or the way that you envision them in your mind. Some of you, I think you might be millennials too. Yeah, millennials or Gen Xers in this pile. Probably older millennials. Because you are promised like a certain thing. And the vibe I'm getting is American dream. And for many of us of various ethnicities and gender expressions, we've already kind of decoded that the American dream, as it was spelled out, wasn't necessarily framed for us. But nevertheless, it was the picture that was put up there in society and in media as the achievable thing. And some of you in this new current economic climate and the way things are going politically are feeling blindsided, lied to, betrayed. There's a lot of, and somewhat heartbroken with this Queen of Cups energy in reverse. Yeah. There was a certain way that your life was supposed to look, and it is not panning out that way. And so I think what the universe is asking you to do is to reframe that and to look at things from a position of abject authenticity. You're really being asked to feel your way into what your life looks like, and is it just because it's supposed to look this way, or is it something you truly want? For instance, I'm trying to get it. Let's say you're still single and you want to get married, and that's a very traditional route. But there are many other routes besides that, and people are very happy in those routes besides the traditional one. And I'm not trying to say, oh, this one's better, that one's better. I'm asking you to really do your research. Go online, get books, and find out, okay, what would my life look like if I was married? And also, not all marriages are the same, look the same, operate the same. Some people don't live in the same house, but they're married. Some people don't sleep in the same bed, but they're married. Some people live in different cities, but they're married. Some people work at the same office and they're married. Like it really looks completely different for each person. And what this new this Leo season is asking you to do is to customize your life. Don't go with the template any longer, because you've been going with the template. And the template says your life is supposed to color within the lines, and it's supposed to fall within this circle. And you might even be doing that to yourself via your own identity as well. So it might go deeper. It might go even deeper than just things you want out of life. It might even go into, who am I as a person? You know, you might ask yourself, am I in the right gender? You might ask yourself, am I living in the right city? You know, am I in the right job? Did I study the right thing in school? These are all things that are going to come up. And it might feel overwhelming, like you're being hit with all of these different realizations. You're having a watershed moment, and some of you are going through your Saturn return, to be honest, or are about to. And this is going to change how you look at everything in the world and how you live your life. So Mercury retrograde is allowing you to have time to incubate these thoughts. And I'm a huge fan of journaling. So I always recommend that. Some of you might want to take, I feel like some of you are going to be drawn towards artistic classes, things like drawing, painting, dance, improvisational, instrumental. I'm getting very creative streak from this particular pile. And the creativity, that the art that you're going to be making is a way of exploring your soul's journey. It's a way of finding out who you are, molding that like clay, being indefinable, being okay with being unknown and indefinable, being okay with searching and exploring the outer reaches of your soul and your mind. And I know I'm getting very esoteric and very existential, but you are having an existential crisis at the moment. Swan, love, you have found your soulmate, or they're just around the corner. Remember that when two souls are destined to be together, they always find their way back to each other. All those things you had to go through are worth it. Yeah, some of you have found who you want to be, but they didn't show up in the right package that you thought. Or they might be there, but they don't look or live the way you thought they were going to. They don't present the way you thought they were going to. Yeah. You might even work with them or go to school with them or whatever. You might already but you might be not exploring this person because they don't fit a particular groove that you thought. Maybe you're like a trendy person. Maybe they're like super analytical and you're super creative, or vice versa. Maybe they're wealthy and you're not, or maybe you're wealthy and they're not. But there's this person in your orbit that you haven't been giving attention to, but you might be feeling a little drawn to friendship-wise. That person may or may not be your soulmate. I'm getting that vibe for some of you. That's the message for some of you. For some of you, it's because you're not manifesting what you want because you have this picture, and the person that fits your criteria on a soul level does not fit what you pictured. Success. Yeah. Some of you are really like successful, driven. You have like the portfolio. Maybe the other person doesn't have things together. Maybe they are they don't have a 401k. They haven't planned for retirement and all these things. And you're like, kind of like knocking them for that. Yeah. The biggest thing I'm getting from a lot of the piles right now is to check your ego. It's a very Leo thing. Leo in its shadow side has an outsized ego. And so because it's Mercury in retrograde, we're asking ourselves, we're reviewing our ego and how it shows up in our life. Success. Tropical jungle are some of the richest and most successful habitats on our planet. They have incredible diversity, a multitude of plant varieties and animal inhabitants. They are dense with life force that's rapidly growing and rapidly changing. The lushness of their vegetation is essential to the ecological health of the earth in many ways. The success of the planet depends on the rainforest. These areas are called lungs of the planet. The plants absorb carbon dioxide, produce oxygen, and help reduce the impact of worldwide climate change. In addition, thousands of plant and animal species that may have medical properties have yet to be discovered. The sacred landscape wants you to know satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment are at hand. Success is waiting to expand in your life. Be ready to accept, embrace this success, for it might occur rapidly. All is possible. The gates of triumph are waiting to open. Being in a state of gratitude for all the small successes in your life will give birth to larger ones. Your satisfaction will come in many forms from many areas of life. Celebrate it all and breathe it in, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. This is an excellent time to make commitments, sign contracts, make deals. Good fortune will ensue. I will say that with a caveat, because this is an excellent time for that normally in Leo season, but wait to sign all those things until Mercury retrograde is over. I believe it goes direct August 11th. You won't have to wait too long. but good things might be in the offing, and you might get sometime around the full moon, or sometime after, in the days after the full moon, you might get a windfall, a bounty, or you might realize who that person is. I look at the diversity that is talking about as a way to restructure your life. Again, like I said, you were looking on this one path, this one goal, this one picture, and life is so much bigger and expansive than that. And life is so varied. There are a million different people. There's a million different places. And we're asked, and the Leo season is asking us to explore how we will expand our view of the world and how we show up in it, and our view of what we want our life to look like. We're being asked to diversify that viewpoint and not be stuck on a small, like sort of small, narrow track of seeing things, if that makes sense. Well, that is all that I have for you, pile number 2. It was, to me, a very interesting and beautiful reading, because you're on the knife edge of discovery of yourself, really. So with that in mind, please, of course, take what resonates with you, and leave the rest behind. If this reading resonated with you, please comment with a heart emoji or a sun emoji, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, pile number 3 with this golden lepidolite. And normally lepidolite, this one exudes a calm energy too, but it's more of a calm and vital energy. So I feel like it's reflective and calm with a certain amount of brightness and a certain amount of life and vitality, that the purple lepidolite is more like relax, restore, and this is more of relax but also do. If that makes any sense. Yeah, so I get in relax and refresh at the same time. Maybe some of you might need to declutter during retro too, or at least set up a box of things that you might want to get rid of during when it goes direct. You are leaving behind a sense of lack. Yeah. You're leaving behind a sense of lack. With that sense of lack, there was also sort of this, I don't know how to put it, but almost like sense of apathy. Like things won't get better. There was a sense of apathy, and with this 4 of Swords, there was a sense that you were moving towards burnout. And that you also need to take a beat from that, because not burning yourself out and being obsessed with hustling and hustle culture, but yet like this rat race, rat on a hamster on a wheel, you weren't getting anywhere. Yeah. King of Swords in reverse. You also had to deal with either naysayers or your own internal dialogue working against you. Because this is a 4 of Swords, a 4 of Discs, which is a 4 of Pentacles in reverse, you are moving away from the lack mindset. So one of the things that might help, because if this is negative talk or naysaying talk, is affirmations. Things like every day and every way I'm getting better and better, or I'm safe and I'm grounded. Affirmations that affirm that it's okay for you to not only grow and strive, but also to rest. And it's also okay for you to sort of ebb and flow, and to mess up, and to have failures and successes while still going towards the same goal. Because A lot of you are very hypercritical from the successes, and some of that hypercriticalness comes from the way you were raised. It comes from old family programs and old DNA programs, maybe even ancestral programs that need to be rewritten or refreshed within your own personal DNA, how you show up in the world. Maybe you grew up, that the early bird gets the worm, or you had all these other affirmations that your family put, you have to work, the only thing that's assured is death and taxes, or first you work and then you die, those kinds of things, versus that stressed living in struggle and crisis and chaos, rather than living in affirmation and hope and succeeding in abundance. Yeah, you might have grown up with those. More than you can do anything you put your mind to, as mindset spider. Even the spider came reverse. Yeah, look at this. You weave your web in life. What you see before you is a result of your thoughts. Yes. If your current reality does not suit you, then it is time to make changes through conscious manifestation. Your energy can bring all that you desire. Affirmations, ways of thinking that need to change. That is the true go for you, and that's probably why we're getting this golden lepidolite, because lepidolite is calm, but there's also this sense of action, this sense of forward movement, this sense of moving forward with a calm, determined vibe. You're not moving from a place of rushing. You're not moving from a place of striving. You're not pushing or forcing. You're allowing. Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting from this. And that's really, really important. Some of you might want to focus on visualization. That's what I'm getting from some of you. Others of you might work well with the manifestation journal. And some of you will work really good with taking a glass of water and holding that glass of water and thinking positive thoughts and imagining your life being the way it is, imbuing that water, going to sleep intentionally, or I should say, having the intention when you go to sleep next to that water. And if, bonus, charge that water on crystal, or buy a crystal, but like a citrine or this golden lepidolite, but go to sleep with the intention that you are going to wake up with solutions to how to get where you want to get. And then when you wake up, drink the water. That's the manifestation I'm getting for some of you. Particularly well if you put that water in the sun. Make sure your crystal's not one that fades in the sun. But yeah. But yeah, that's one of the things I am getting. And let's see what these cards say. Wisdom. I think this wisdom equates to books that you can use to help with manifestation. Books like The Secret, if you're a super beginner. But there's many law of attraction books now. The Secret is just one of many. Stillness, yeah. There's a need for reflection about how you're going to make your next step. Wisdom is not pushing ahead and just doing a bunch of things like throwing spaghetti on the wall and hoping something sticks, which I think is might have been the way you're doing it. Wisdom is sitting with yourself in stillness, making out a list. And some of you have ADHD. I'm getting that too. And so it's going to be really important for you to still your mind and for you to break things down into small, bite-sized, doable blocks, because you get overwhelmed. Let's read both wisdom and stillness. It says, the depths of the sea. The surface of the sea can be choppy and turbulent. When we seek down to the depths, Our surroundings are completely different. Often there's stillness below. In other cases, the surface of the sea might be placid, yet down in the liquid blue are a myriad of creatures and a variety of seaweeds. A vast community of creatures is eating, mating, giving birth, and dying. What we see in the water surface has very little to do with what is occurring below. Things are not as they seem. Look beneath the surface in your life. For example, you might feel you aren't making progress on a particular project, yet beneath the surface things are happening. Or you might be going through a stormy cycle. This card is letting you know that even though the surface of your life might be a bit rocky or wobbly, in a deeper place all is well, and serenity and peace are emerging. Things that may seem challenging will later be revealed to be beneficial. So, two things. Some of the things that you were striving on before that you threw away might come back as something that helps you. And that's what the stillness is going to be really, really needed for. You're going to have to take stock of your life and what you've done that is giving you benefits, and what you might want to defocus in your life. And also having this attitude of gratitude. You're having this attitude of gratitude, and also taking time to slow down. So that once the water it feels very chaotic and turbulent, this water, but when it stills, you can see what's in the bottom. You can see the different subconscious thoughts that you've been thinking about that might be sabotaging you, and start to defocus that, and you can focus on the things, methods, and thoughts that are working for you. Because moving willy-nilly is not helping. Stillness, frozen tundra. The tundra is a stark and severe landscape found in both the southern and northern hemispheres. It is usually bereft of most plant and animal life and can only support very low-growing plants such as mosses and lichen. The soil is frozen year-round, so it is impossible for the trees to grow in that barren landscape. In the winter, the landscape is very cold and dark, and the wild winds surge across the desolation. Even in the summer, the land remains frozen, although the surface can be soggy and covered with lakes, marshes, ponds, and bogs that become havens for millions of migrating birds. The sacred landscape wants you to know, take a step back from a project, situation, or relationship, even if for a few moments. Mend bridges, slow down, breathe, be still, go within. Listen to your inner voice. Take time to connect with spirit guides, ancestors, and spiritual guardians. Listen to your higher self. Timing is everything. This is not a good time to start a new cycle. Wait, incubate, fix things that need fixing, heal things that need healing, think things through. Forgive yourself and others. If things seem barren or even bleak, hold on. Just as the migrating birds find new life in the tundra marshes in the summer, you too will expand once again during the coming thaw in your life. Excuse me. I think that these two cards are playing off of each other. This one's asking you to stop, let the water settle so you can look. This is definitely Mercury retrograde vibes. This one's saying once that water settles, take time to reflect. And it's kind of what I was saying, reinforcing what I was saying. Take time to reflect on everything that you're doing. Then once you have a clearer picture, you can come back and with like a spider sort of weave this new web so that your life can start to move in a certain direction. But right now, the energy is for you to take a step back, pause, and see what's working for you and what isn't. And that is what I have for you, pile number 3. I hope you enjoyed your reading. If this resonated with you, please leave a yellow heart or a sun emoji. And of course, taking what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment below if you feel called. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.